Hi, welcome all. I'm Joseph L. Turk. I have a few questions for you today. How many of you been on vacation before? How many of you been to a water park? How many of you been to a beach? Have you guys ever seen a lifeguard before? Okay, well, I'm a lifeguard. And then, as a lifeguard, my duties are to save people's lives, obviously, as a lifeguard. That's what they do. On the day in June 2017, on the day of June 30th, I had a very eventful day. I got ready for work like I usually do. I went to work, set up my stations, got all this stuff. I'm a head guard, so I'm in charge of setting the people's stations, giving them water, giving them tubes. I got all the things I was to make sure I was fully prepared for the day, and I was supposed to make sure all my lifeguards are ready for the day. I went to go help them, all the lifeguards in deck, to make sure they have their water and all their things. On one of the days, this lifeguard, I heard a long whistle and one of the lifeguards jumped in to save a kid. That gave me a panic because I always get paranoid when I hear a whistle in the park. So I jumped in and I went to go see him. Before I jumped in, I went to go see if he was okay. I saw that he was struggling with helping the kid, so I jumped in and helped him out. We quickly pulled the kid out of the water and he wasn't breathing. So we quickly had to start doing CPR on him to make sure to do all the stuff and give it all the water, make sure there was no water in his lungs, bring it all out. Our in-house paramedics came to the scene and assisted us after I was already there helping the scene. But while I was doing that, it felt like hours on end was not going by. I never thought the paramedics were going to come in time. Today I would demonstrate a quick overview of how to do CPR properly. Do I have any volunteers to help me out? Hi, can you come to the audience, over here, and I can help you out? Yes, can you lay down? So, first, imagine you're at a water park or a beach and a person passes out. The first thing you do is survey the scene to make sure there's no dangerous things around the area. You look all around, make sure there's no needles or anything sticking out. Then, you go to the guest or the person on the ground and you shake and shout. You hit them to make sure they're not asleep. Finally, if that doesn't happen, you call for help. Or if there's no one around you, if you're on a beach, you tell someone to call 911. Then, you put on your gloves and gauze. Here are my gloves. It's usually easier when you have water around, so you can put the gloves in easier, but they're kind of dry, so it takes a while. Sorry, it takes a while. Okay, next thing you do is, if they're passed out on the ground, you're supposed to ask for if they could actually need help, but if they're passed on the ground, you have to help them by law. So you're first going to check their pulse. So you go to the head of them, you get down, and you tilt their head, lean it back and check for a pulse, and you go down to see if their chest is rising or falling, and you count to 10 seconds to get a pulse. After that, if there's no pulse, then you have to begin, the chest is not rising or fall, you have to begin CPR. If there is a pulse and the chest is not rise or fall, that means they have an obstructed airway, and you have to remove whatever's in their mouth. For an obstructed airway, you have to open the mouth to make sure there's nothing in the mouth, and then, if there is, you pinky swab or you have a vacuum sucky that pulls it out. And if he doesn't like that, you go to where the armpit is, you put one leg on the other side, the other leg in the middle, and you get your palm of your chest and the other one wrapping around, and you go to their nipple line. And you give them 30 chest compressions and then 2 breaths for success with your seal easy or your mouth. I have a seal easy because I don't want to touch his mouth. And then you put on his mouth and you give him 2 breaths for that. Then you open his mouth, and if there's food or liquid in there, you swoop it out, or you suck it if there's more liquid than food. If they're not breathing at all and they don't have a pulse, then you give CPR. CPR is 30 chest compressions to every 2 breaths for 110 beats per minute. Okay, to demonstrate what's in a lifeguard's fanny pack, you have the fanny pack itself, you have gloves, you have gauze. A lifeguard's supposed to have a whistle, water shoes to keep them protected to the ground so if there's any glass or things on the floor, a hat, which I do not have because I'm not back home doing work, and glasses, which I also do not have. Here's an example of a chart of how to give CPR. Here's all the procedures and all that stuff of how to give CPR. Now I turn to the crowd to ask for questions. Yes.
Was it traumatizing saving somebody's life?
Yes, it was very traumatizing because I felt like it was going on forever, and I didn't want to break the ribs of the kid because usually when you give CPR, you break the ribs.
How do you stay calm in an emergency like that?
Breathing is very key because if you don't breathe properly, you're panicking yourself, guests around you are panicking, and all that stuff. Okay, if that's it. I'm Joseph Alturk. Have a nice day.